Right, Cole Munson here for Good Morning Portugal. I'm talking to Alison Thompson, who's had a fine idea that is ablaze across social media this afternoon, causing controversy as she goes, I believe. Alison, good afternoon to you. How are you?
Hello, hi, nice to meet you, Carl.
It's very good to meet you too, and also quickly as well, because somebody said to me, you need to talk to, I think someone said I needed to talk to you, someone said you needed to talk to me, and so that's what we're doing, to find out more about your new website idea, website, social media. Tell us all about it.
Yeah. Well, how it started years and years ago when I was back in the UK, I used to run a franchised local magazine called Community Times, and it was very local. It was for the two towns kind of within 10 miles of where I lived. And the Community Times model was all about putting in this kind of syndicated content, but I decided to go a different way and to make it very, very local, very community-based. So I had people... The local landscape gardener used to send me a column they'd written about gardening, and the local restaurant would send me recipes, and it was all really local content, local history things, and for all sorts of reasons, not least the 2009 recession, I ended up shutting the magazine down, and I've not done anything with publishing since then, really. And I was lying in bed this morning, and so something happened. Somebody posted something that led me to look for a photo of my magazine, which led me to realise how much I'd enjoyed doing it, which made me think, well, do you know what? You've been looking for a project since you came to Portugal. How about a magazine for Central Portugal? And then I thought, no, printing is hugely expensive. That would involve having to get advertising, and I don't want to get into that again. I'm not a salesperson. But then I thought, well, having a website where people could contribute their own stories, their own interests, would be a really nice idea. So I posted it on a couple of the Facebook groups, expecting people to go, nah, I can't be bothered with that. And yeah, it's kind of taken off. And I've had so many people say they will write articles to go on this website.
Well, I'm so pleased for you. What's it called?
It's called, what is it called? I've forgotten it. It's called Living the Portugal Dream. Okay. So yeah, the website is livingtheportugaldream.com. I've been starting to work on the website this afternoon, but I haven't actually got any content to go on it yet. So it's quite difficult to build a website when you haven't got articles.
So that's the big invitation at the moment, is it? So it geographically it's Central Portugal, and it's okay. Go on.
I was going to say my initial idea was to be Central Portugal, and then a lot of people said, "Oh, but what about us? What about us?" So what I'm going to do is it's open to all of Portugal, but I am going to have specific categories for the regions. So if there's something that is specifically related to the Central region or the Algarve or Lisbon, you'll be able to find it in there. But I want it to cover every sort of aspect of life here. I want people to get a real feel for what living here is like, because I think us estrangeiros, and I've called it by estrangeiros for estrangeiros is the tagline. As estrangeiros have lived such diverse lives, and I think it would be really good to be able to give people a bit of an insight into what we're getting up to, really. So people living here. Sorry, I talk an awful lot.
So you like what we're getting up to. That's so funny because people should know, because we have a lot of expats and explorers coming here, don't they? And they kind of live deep in the woods, and people must think, what are they up to? So this is a good way of finding out, isn't it?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And I mean, some people come over to retire, and they buy a house, and they have the time to sort of potter around in the garden and enjoy their retirement. And some people come over with business ideas that they want to explore. I mean, I know lots of people who run permaculture courses or yoga retreats, or I have a friend who's looking at setting up a bushcraft retreat at the moment. And then some people kind of come over like I'm doing and do a little bit of this and a little bit of that to pay the bills. And yes, I'm living the dream, but the dream's not always... The dream can be a bit of a nightmare sometimes when you've got no wood and it's freezing cold and you don't know where your next 10 euros is coming from. So I kind of want to encapsulate everything to do with moving to a living in Portugal.
That's fantastic. Because, I was going to ask you, it's kind of well covered in a way from all sorts of different angles, but maybe there's not a comprehensive view of it. And it tends to be more on the groups in social media, doesn't it, than a specific website, I think.
I think So there are some websites. I mean, I think there are websites that are run by businesses, so they kind of have their focus on buying property and that sort of thing. Whereas I want this much more to be, that woman down the road who's lived here for 3 years and who is a member of their local singing group in the village, to talk about that. So to talk about the kind of real day-to-day things that people are getting up to, with no hidden agenda of this being anything to do with business or politics or anything like that.
Although that will inevitably creep in, won't it, if people are being people?
I'm going to try and keep a very firm grip on that. But I think also, there are loads of Facebook groups, and I'm a member of a lot of them. And, it's great fun. But how many times do you see an article on Facebook and you think, oh, that looks interesting, I'll go back and read it. And unless you save it, everything's moved so fast that it's gone and you never find it again. So, it'll be categorized. So if you're particularly interested in food and drink, you'll be able to find all the recipes, all the food articles, all in one place. And they'll be there all the time. So, I
love it.
A bit more archived than Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, things have really changed. I mean, we haven't even mentioned coronavirus, COVID-19 yet, have we? But it is such a game changer, culture changer. And something's changed with us all kind of stopping. I've heard it called the big pause, not to do with bears and animals with big paws, but the big pause as in the big stop. And we're reconsidering things, aren't we? And you make a really good point there that social media is very fast moving. It's very chatty, blink and you miss it.
Yeah.
Perhaps we realise we've got more time on our hands than we did before, and we'd actually like more time on our hands, because it's not, ordinarily people are running around trying to make some money, but they've been stopped from doing that. We do have this time now, and it is reminding us of maybe a little more how we'd like to live ideally. And I really like the idea of, in-depth articles and more of a reference point than a constantly moving sea of opinion and politics and arguments and so on that you get on social media.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I do not envy the owners of the Facebook groups out here, because it must be an absolute nightmare trying to moderate those things. And I do not want to put myself in the position of having to moderate a group. There is going to be a page related to this, but it will mostly be so that people can kind of get updates of what's been added to the website.
Yeah.
Rather than a kind of discussion group. I don't really want to get into that territory. But I mean, I've been doing bits of work, but I've been exploring new things. I've been trying to learn how the ukulele. I've been doing a bit of watercolour painting. I baked some hot cross buns without yeast, which was an interesting experiment. And I've been my new man, who I can't see because we met just before the lockdown happened. So we're sort of start a relationship. He taught me how to do whittling. So I've been doing a bit of whittling. So I'm trying out new things, and I'm sure lots of people would like to have the opportunity to try new things, learn about new experiences, and hopefully, it'll give them a place where they can find out stuff like that as well.
Alison, I'm so sorry, but in my mind's eye, it's like that scene from Ghosts, the idea of you and your new chap learning to whittle wood together. Sorry, but I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, okay. He wanted to listen to this. I might not send him the link now. I don't want him getting ideas.
I think he'd be flattered. I can't remember what the music was on that particular clip, but you could do that maybe as your next Christmas card or something. Anyway, message from Portugal. No, I love the idea. So the website is up and running.
It is up and running. It hasn't got anything on there at the moment. I've just been adding some kind of placeholder articles just to try and make it look like it's going to look.
All right. So that's the invitation.
Send me content.
Okay, that's the thing. That's why we're talking, isn't it? So you want all kinds of content from all over Portugal at this stage.
Yeah. I mean, it could be. I've set up some initial categories. So I've got food and drink, crafts and hobbies, travel and tourism, business, family and relationships, health and well-being, gardening, permaculture, animals, all regional things as well. So anything that anyone does that they'd like to write about would be great. Somebody at the minute who's writing an article on how to survive in Portugal without a car, which I think is a really interesting article. Yeah. Somebody sent me a couple of articles on dealing with ticks, which I think, I mean, I'd never come across a tick until I moved to Portugal. So, that's going to be really useful. I've got somebody who's going to write about yoga. I'm hoping somebody is going to do a craft guide she does all sorts of crafts, so I don't know what it'll be on, but and yeah, I'd really like people to send things in. And the bonus is anyone who has a business or has a Facebook page, I'm very happy to include a link to their business in there, so that someone can read the article and then go to their website to find out more. Brilliant. That's what I want, bringing people together and raising awareness and promoting all the brilliant things that us estrangeros are doing out here, basically.
Really like the idea. And there's no excuse either at the moment, is there? Because I think a lot of people do fancy themselves as writers and think, I will do that one day. That day may have come, right? And you know this from a point of view. You're a published author. What encouragement would you give somebody who's had that idea? I must write about my experience in Portugal. I've got the time now. I don't know where to start. What's the thing to do as a professional writer and published author such as you are?
just write it. Okay. Just a good thing to do is come up with your title. Write down the 3 key points that you want to get across in your article, and then just write.
Get on with it.
It might be complete and utter rubbish, but you can fine tune it. It's just getting the words down on paper first of all.
Yeah, I heard a saying a long time ago. There's no such thing as good writing. There's only good rewriting, and people do rob themselves, don't they, by wanting to make it perfect first time.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I mean, there's no such thing as perfect, really, but yeah, it will never be perfect. But yeah, just write it, and then I'm very happy to accept things that are in kind of quite poor state and knock them into shape. It's what I do for a living, and I want to make this a really good website, and I'm happy to help people, even if they want to record something and I can transcribe it. I'm
awesome.
Time.
Yes, indeed. So that's brilliant. Where should they send it?
If they go to the website, which is livingtheportugaldream.com, there's a page on there which is set up already that says submit, and you can fill in a form there and send it, attach a document to it.
As easy as that. livingtheportugaldream.com. Alison, thank you very much indeed. Looking forward to being part of it in some way.
You're welcome. I hope you'll send me an article.
I've got to now, haven't I? Boa sorte with it. Because talking Portuguese, that will be certainly a rich theme of writing, won't it, on there as well? So good luck with it.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye for now. Bye.